Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about Trump, the sixth new golden age of America, tax cuts, lower inflation rates, lower inflation. And I'm curious to know what this video is about. I know lately that Trump has been talking about no taxes on temp and lowering taxes and the biggest tax cut in history. And that's how he says he's going to do, but we're going to check with Brian to see what he is really going to do, because I like watching him a lot. I'm a big fan of his, and he usually tells the truth, and everything he pretty much almost predicted is almost right. And that is why I watch him, and this is why we're going to react to what he has to say, what Trump is going to do.
President Trump just spoke at the World Economic Forum. He said that the United States of America is now entering a golden age. And he says that he's going to cut taxes, cut interest rates, and cut inflation. So I'm going to show you these 5 video clips. Let me know your opinion, but I encourage you to really just watch these clips first, and then you'll get the full picture. So let's just start with this one.
Hello to everyone in beautiful Davos. This has been a truly historic week in the United States. 3 days ago, I took the oath of office, and we began the golden age of America.
Okay, so according to President Trump, what is the current economic situation? So President Trump said, you're going to see it. He says that right now it's economic chaos because of the failed policies of the Biden administration. So
that's what he says, but I would not say chaos. I would just say they just haven't worked out. I know President Biden, when he put the laws in, was meant to help a lot of people, but they haven't helped. They made them a lot worse. People are complaining about their groceries, their bills, their energy, and whatever it may be. Hey, we even got video game prices about to hit $100. And we need to really reevaluate what is most important to us. That's all I have to say.
So please take a look.
My administration is acting with unprecedented speed to fix the disasters we've inherited from a totally inept group of people and to solve every single crisis facing our country. This begins with confronting the economic chaos caused by the failed policies of the last administration.
Okay, so President Trump said he's going to fix the economic chaos. The question is, how's he going to do that? So President Trump gave various ways on how he's going to do that. I'm going to show you 3 of them. We're going to start with this one, by lowering inflation.
On day 1, I signed an executive order directing every member of my cabinet to marshal all powers at their disposal to defeat inflation and reduce the cost of daily life. I imposed a federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze, a foreign aid freeze, and I created the new Department of Government Efficiency. I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam.
Jesus.
Withdrew from the one-sided Paris.
The Green New Scam. Oh my goodness. Comment down below. Have you benefited from Joe Biden's green plan? Let me know down in the comments. I mean, honestly, personally, I haven't. I know I want to get in a Tesla, but I'm not sure Tesla is part of Joe Biden's green plan. So, hey, let me know. Let me know what other ways that you got involved in the green plan while Biden is in office.
Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. We're going to let people buy the car they want to buy. I declared a national energy emergency, and that's so important, national energy emergency to unlock the liquid gold under our feet and pave the way for rapid approvals of new energy infrastructure. The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we're going to use it. Not only will this reduce the cost of virtually all goods and services, it'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower.
Okay, the second point that Trump gives is cutting taxes, not just for individuals, but also for businesses. So please take a look.
To further unleash our economy, our majorities in the House and Senate, which we also took along with the presidency, are going to pass the largest tax cut in American history, including massive tax cuts for workers and family. and big tax cuts for domestic producers and manufacturers. And we're working with the Democrats on getting an extension of the original Trump tax cuts, as you probably know, by just reading any paper. My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. We're bringing them down very substantially, even from the original Trump tax cuts.
And the third way that Trump wants to improve.
Just imagine. So that means we can actually have business come back to our country and make more jobs so they get benefits. So it seems like everyone, it's a win-win situation. Now, we just have to figure out, is this really going to happen? I mean, it sounds good and it sounds great. Let's just see how this president's going to execute. Not President Trump, excuse me. Oh, it's been a long day, as you can tell. How he's going to execute to bring those jobs from overseas back to the United States.
The economy or fix this economic chaos is by demanding lower interest rates. So please take a look.
With oil prices going down, I'll demand that interest rates drop immediately, and likewise, they should be dropping all over the world. Interest rates should follow us.
Okay, so after seeing that, straight from the source, please let me know what you think about this whole situation. If you think that we are truly going to enter a new golden age for the United States of America. But now, I want to give you my opinion on Trump's ability to cut taxes, lower inflation, and lower interest rates. Okay, so let's start with this one, cutting taxes. So I don't know if you know, but in Trump's previous term, taxes were cut, and it was significant tax reform with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. However, the thing is that those Trump tax cuts, they're actually expiring at the end of this year, so the end of 2025. A few of those items that he did pass in his previous term, they've already expired, but the bulk of the changes, they're all going to be gone by the end of this year. So, of course, Trump wants to get those renewed. He's been very clear about it. I mean, you saw it for yourself. But on top of those, the renewing of those tax cuts, he wants additional tax cuts for individuals and for businesses. And just assessing the situation, Republicans control the House and the Senate. It's by a slim margin, but they do have control. They do have the majority. Okay, now I want to tell you this when it comes to tax cuts. So there's a lot of good things, there's a lot of bad things, but I want to give you one of each so that we can get a perspective of each side, and it's a fair representation. Okay, so the tax cuts, when Trump did them in his previous term, I want to tell you that the majority of Americans, the vast majority of Americans benefited from the tax cuts. I know there's going to be people that say that, it didn't help everyday working Americans.
Yes, they have. And they have. That, especially the people that make over $20,000 a year, they have helped you. Don't lie and say they haven't. You're just mad because you don't like what Trump has to say. But he has helped you save money in your pockets and your taxes too.
That's just simply not true. How do I know? It's because I ran the calculations myself, personally. Like I ran the numbers with my clients using the old rules versus the new rules when this went into effect. And it did help people making $30,000 a year, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000. They benefited. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. It was very substantial. Now, if some people are going to make the argument that the Trump tax cuts, they're really targeting the ultra wealthy or the high net worth individuals, the high income earners. I'm not going to deny that. I didn't run the calculations for people making $100 million a year, $1 billion, but I know that they benefited enormously, obviously much more than the average working American. But you can't deny that for everyday Americans, the tax bill was cut. Okay, now I want to give you the other side of this. So I don't like paying taxes. Who likes paying taxes? But the thing is that if you cut taxes, the problem is that the United States of America, the federal government, is in a debt crisis.
Yes,
if you lower taxes, then the tax collection, the tax revenues for the government is going to decrease. And that's going to make the debt crisis situation even worse because you're essentially lowering the income of the federal government. And that's going to cause a bigger deficit. Another thing that I want to point out is that how there's those economic models and forecasting by those institutions, just saying that, in 10, 15, 20 years, the United States of America is going to have a true financial crisis because of the whole debt situation and the deficits, right? Those models, I mean, you could read the details for yourself. None of those factor in the Trump tax cuts renewing, because that's going to mean less revenue for the US government. That's going to worsen the deficits. Mm-hmm. So not only will there be the Trump tax cuts renewing, but most likely more tax cuts on top. So that means that potentially the deficits can be, accelerating in the next few years.
I agree.
Okay, now let's review lowering inflation. So the aspects that President Trump touched upon. So Trump wants to cut government spending. So you're well aware of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. But on top of that, I mean, as you heard in that video clip, freezes on spending, freezes on additional new expenses. So basically, it's small. Okay, so if the expenses decrease, then that would equate to smaller deficits, which just means less money to print, which means less inflation. So I want to tell you this, reducing deficits, yes, that is one aspect of lowering inflation. And if the government's going to say that they want to, manage their budget, balance their budget better, of course, I'm going to support that. Of course, that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. However, when I see it personally, I just think too little, too late. It's like it's a lost cause. That's honestly how I feel. And if you if you're going to disagree, that's fine. But the thing is, you have to understand how horrendous the debt crisis, the deficits are right now. Now, I want to explain this. So when you're looking at the debt situation, the deficits and fiscal responsibility, and this is, risking the whole credibility of the US dollar. The situation's so bad. It's like this. Well, first of all, you can't look at debt to GDP because that doesn't mean anything. Debt to GDP. Oh, it's a little bit over 1, so it's nothing to be concerned about. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to look at debt to tax collections, okay? Uh-huh. So when you look at it like that, the financial situation of the United States of America, this is why I'm saying it's a lost cause. It's similar, it's very similar to a person that makes $100,000 a year, okay? So a person that makes $100K, but they have to borrow $40,000 a year every year on their credit card because they can't make ends meet. They have a spending problem. So what good is that $100K if you're borrowing $40K every year? And on top of that, they have $700,000 of credit card debt already.
And I see why he said it's a lose-lose situation and it's too late. And it makes so much sense. This is why I understand why each party do what they do now, and it makes sense. And it just seems like we're never going to fix the American debt. I just hope it doesn't crash down. Comment down below. What do you think about the American debt? Do you think it'll be fixed or solved, or it's going to be kicked down for generations? That's what I think.
That's the situation in the United States of America. You tell me, if that's sustainable. It's going to give. It's just a matter of time. It's going to be sooner or it's going to be later. Now, in that situation, in that analogy, if that person decides to become just a little bit more fiscally responsible, like, oh, okay, I'm not going to borrow $40,000 this year on my credit card. I'm only going to add, $25,000 of debt. Then, I guess that's better, but it's a lost cause. That's why I'm saying it's a lost cause. It's just not enough to move the needle, just the way I see it. Now, let's talk about lowering interest rates. So Trump said that he's going to demand that interest rates drop. So the Federal Reserve can lower the Fed funds interest rate. They could buy bonds, and this could lead to lower interest rates for the public. But you have to know that the Federal Reserve is not a part of the government. And an easier monetary policy, of course, is inflationary. So listen, of course, higher interest rates, it's not a good thing for anyone trying to get a mortgage. It slows the job market, it slows the economy. I understand why President Trump wants to lower interest rates. He can demand that they do it, but he has no power to. He could try to influence, interest rates, but no direct power. It's all going to depend on the bond markets. Okay, so that is the current situation. Please let me know your opinion. If you think that we're entering a new golden age of economic prosperity.
And I'm going to end the video right here. I'm going to ask you the question now. Do you think we're in a new age of golden America? Do you think we're back in the days of the 80s and 90s if you was born during that time? Or the even better age of America? Let me know down in the comments. And if you like this video so far, hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to watch my next video where I agree with this financial advisor, this video is going to be up here.